What using like everything that you know now and more wisdom, more years in the game and stuff, what is like something that you wish you could go back in time and impart like on yourself? Like what's something you know now that if you were actively doing during your competition years you think would have either helped you recover better, perform better, find more balance, for want of a better word? Like
Yeah.
anything that stands out there?
Um, the way I eat now, and like it is weird. It's like when I was eating, I was eating like an 8-year-old child that didn't have parental, parents
Just
to.
anything goes.
Yeah, it just was like I was on a solid 3-day rotation of pizza, burritos, and burgers, and it was like I mean, I'd eat a box of Pop Tarts in the middle of the night, chug a half a gallon of milk. It was just any way to get calories in,
Yeah,
and
right.
I didn't want to like take the time to cook because I was so tired from training. And so the way I eat now, man, it's like I know that if I ate like this, it would have exponentially made me better at what I did. It would have made me stronger because
Yeah.
I wasn't eating enough protein back in the day. I ate enough carbs, it was all shit carbs, but um yeah, I wish I would have found this style of eating a lot sooner in life. I mean, it basically took me to where like my body was kind of like not recovering.
Right.
I felt like I was actually starting to build some autoimmune diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have like a skin thing that started growing on on my back, and I went into the doctor and like, oh, it's called this, and that's an autoimmune disease, and there's no really cure for it, but it'll just stop one day. And I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. But yeah, like, so I had to kind of take measures in my own hands, and this was in 2020 or 2021.
Right.
So about 4 or 5 years ago now, I basically went to carnivore was kind of how it spiked my interest. I tried to do carnivore, like strict, just red meat. That was it. And it just didn't, I'm like, this isn't it. I don't think I can do this. And so hearing, Paul Saladino kind of start to talk about animal based, it made a lot more sense. I was like, okay, yeah, let's eat the fruit, honey, eggs, some dairy if it's raw. Uh, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give that a shot. I'll try that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really been a drastic game changer for me in my life. And so like, I think that would have been probably the best thing that I could have done back then. I've always been really good at finding like manual recovery tools, but like eating is such a great way to recover that is so over, I guess, looked, right? Like
Yeah, it
you're
is.
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
get your massages, get your acupuncture, get your sauna, cold tub, um, your compression sleeves for your legs, and like all these ways to recover. But man, like your nutrition, like you can spike your cortisol levels at the wrong time. You can
Mm-hmm.
add extra inflammation into your body just by just how you eat, right? And so it's that's been such a drastic game changer for me. Like basically eating red, like I mean, how I eat now is like it's wild. I mean, I'm probably putting in close to 200 to 220 grams of protein every day, weighing
Mm-hmm.
170 pounds, and then I think if I was still competing, I'd probably have to add more carbs in, like more fruit, more. I do eat sourdough bread, which I guess technically isn't on the animal base, but I'm like whatever. And I eat sweet potatoes, and that's
Yeah.
like kind of like my go-to carbohydrates.
Yeah, dude. It's really, I think about it a lot and trying to, get this back in the hands of the athletes that compete today, because I think a lot of the time we make the mistake that elite level CrossFit athlete, they always look great. They're
Mm,
always lean, they're always shredded. And I think it kind of stops there. Like, well, I'm not fat, right? So if I'm not fat, my nutrition's fine. I'm,
mm,
I'm, I'm lean enough. But I think what they probably leave on the table more than anything is the recovery aspect of things.
mm.
Like how banged up your body gets, the inflammation in your knee that won't go away, the shoulder that you just can't get over. Like, what if that's an inflammatory issue? Yeah, sure, it's not being held by the crazy amount of volume, but micronutrients, macronutrients, keeping oxidative stress low through your diet, healing your gut, these autoimmune conditions that are coming up for people. I think diet's underappreciated in that respect. And I watched, one of your vlogs from a couple of years ago, and you said, I'm like currently right now eating this way. I'm leaner, bigger, and I don't train half as much.
Yeah.
That's what we all want, right? Of course, you still have to train and put that volume in if you're trying to compete, but that's the gains that can be made on your plate, not just in the gym. If you're, you're eating the right way, you can pack on muscle, you can run leaner, you can get rid of all this inflammation. And I just think it's cause for people to consider what they're putting in the mouth, not just thinking that health stops at being lean enough,
Well, yeah, food is our medicine, right? It's what we put into our body. It's not like, oh, it's not a pair of shoes, it's not your clothes. It's like you're actually like ingesting this shit, right? So like maybe you should think a little bit more about it. And I've heard this lately where it's really pissing me off because it's I feel like people take shit out of context a lot, and they'll be like, "Oh, you can actually outwork a bad diet." And it's like, "Yeah, how long are we talking about? Are we talking about a week? Are we talking about a year? Are we talking about 5 years?" And it really pisses me off because it just puts such a bad perspective out there, saying like, "Oh, if you go walk a mile, it's better than eating healthy and not working out." And like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but for how long?
Right.
Like how long are we talking about? Because I ate a shitty diet for 10 fucking years. And yeah, I looked great. Like I was lean, I was cut, I had muscles. Like I didn't look unhealthy, but on the inside, I was fucking decaying, man. And
Right.
like, like my body was not recovering well. I felt like shit all the time. I wasn't sleeping good at all. And so I hate that people try to put this shit out there, and it's like it's just like this. It's clickbait, like, oh yeah, see, look, if you run a mile, it's better for you than eating healthy and not working out. It's like, okay, cool. Now you just put this shit out in the world that is true for maybe what, like a month, 6 months, but if you actually look at it deeper, if you deep dive that shit, there's no way that like you can outwork a shitty diet. Like you have to at some point make the adjustments that you need to make. And that's what I found is like I lived that like, oh, I can just I work out so I can eat like shit. It's like, yeah, and it was funny and it was fun at the time. And yeah, I was eating a whole box of cookies right before bed, but then I'd sleep. My sleep would be so broken up. I'd wake up every 2 hours and I'd have to go take a piss, or I just couldn't fall back asleep. So I'd have to go like chug milk or something. And then I'm like realizing, oh, my blood sugar's high. My
Right.
cortisol levels are always high. My sleep's up. My testosterone's down. My hair is fucking falling out. It was just like all this bad shit, man. And so like, it just really upsets me when you hear that stuff. Cause you're like, yeah, you're just trying to like appease to people like, oh, if you go run a mile, you're good. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. And it's like, no, that's not true, dude. Like this is the shit you're ingesting. It's your medicine, man. And like, that's how you have to kind of look at it. And like, you don't have to be 100% strict like some people are, and that's okay, right? Like, I mean, living in like an 80-20 life, right? 80% of the time, if you do what's right, you're going to be much better off than you are if you do 60% of the time, right? So like, I kind of go by 80-20, right? So I still have kids. We're still going to have pizza every once in a while. We're still going to have a burger here and there. We're still going to, eat pancakes every once in a while for breakfast. And so, but I try to teach my kids that's like 80% of the time you need to be doing what's right. 20% of the time, enjoy it. That's fine. And that's okay. But you will be better off for it, so, but that whole, you can outwork a shitty diet thing, man. Yeah. Maybe in your 20s you can. Tell me, let me see,
exactly.
Let me see what you look like when you're 40, when you're trying to outwork a shitty diet, because you're not even gonna be able to fucking work because your joints are gonna be so swollen, they're gonna ache, your back's gonna hurt, you're not gonna be sleeping well, you're gonna be drinking coffee at probably 5 p.m. at night so you can stay awake. It gets crazy. And that's what I was doing, man. I'd have coffee at 5 p.m. And you're like, I'm like, why can't I sleep? You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
wait a minute.
This is weird. And so, just making some minor adjustments that aren't really like a big deal. I think people like overthink it, and they consume themselves with what they can't do than rather what they can do. Like eating an animal-based diet is fucking so good. Like I have no issues. People are like, oh, how do you eat like that? It's so boring. I'm like, what are you talking about? I eat ground beef, like basically make burger patties every day. They're delicious. I make steak for like some sort of steak for dinner, or like a roast or of some sort. I love fruit. So it's like, I love honey. I love eggs. I'm like, this is an easy sell for me. Like it wasn't hard at all.
So well said, man. So well said. I agree. Yeah, that everybody looks at the lens of deprivation like, oh, but I can't eat this, instead of like what you get to
Yeah.
have and what you get to experience. I mean, there's the old cliche, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of truth in that. And yeah, like pizza tastes fucking delicious, and it can still fit into this 80-20 principle. It's just, yeah,
Mm.
you're not eating pizza every night for dinner now, right?
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
going to catch up eventually. And that this like either or conversation on online, like you said, the clickbait, well, you don't need to worry about your diet if you just have a good VO2 max. Like, wonderful in theory, but why don't we just do both? Why don't we
Yeah.
be fit and eat well and actually get better returns on our investment and more longevity and less pain and better sleep and better sex drive and all of these things, instead of just, playing this polarizing this or that game?
Or how about this? How about when you switch to eating like that, how do you feel after you eat pizza? How do you
Yeah,
feel after you have
exactly.
pasta? Like, yes, it tastes great still. The taste never changes. But when you change the baseline of how you feel on a regular
Yeah.
basis, like man, like those when I have pizza at night, I don't sleep that well that night, and it like I just know it, and then I know it's gonna happen too. And I'm like, I try to like uptake a little protein to like to
Yeah.
offset that quarter or that blood sugar spikes,
Yeah.
but like it's still I still know that I'll probably have broken sleep that night when I have it, and my gut's gonna probably feel like crap a little bit. I'm gonna have some bad farts. The wife's not gonna enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, like when we because most of us live at this really low baseline, and it's we live
Yeah.
in a really and so we don't really realize like, oh, when I eat like shit, I feel like shit because I'm already feeling like shit all the time. But when you change that baseline and you bring it up and you're like, oh, I'm eating healthy most of the time, then you have that, whatever that 20%. Oh, I'll have some ice cream tonight, and or I'll have a pizza tonight, or I'll have a burrito or whatever. Man, you really realize like how shitty you feel when you
Yeah.
have that stuff, and it's wild, right? And it's like, oh, and then you start to like hate it. Like I don't hate it, but you're like, is it worth it? I'll
Exactly.
have that conversation. I'm like, is it worth it tonight? And sometimes it is. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna still have it, and I'll have a beer here and there, or have a drink. I'm not 100. I'm not a 100%
Yeah.
crazy. Like I still enjoy drinking a cold beer or a fucking whatever, some mezcal drink or something. But it's like I weigh it, right? I'll be like,
Mm.
nah, tonight's not the night. Like I'm good. I don't need to have it, right? But then other nights, yeah, I'm gonna have it, and it's not a big deal. It's like I come back from it a lot quicker than I used to. That's for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
That's
People,
another hidden part of the health thing, as well as also the resiliency to bounce back when you do choose those things. That I've always called it like the bed of nails analogy. If you've slept your entire life on a bed of nails, you just think that's normal, and at some point someone slips you a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and you're like, oh, this is fucking cozy. This is nice. And
right.
it's the same thing. Like, you don't know what you don't know. Most people are so inflamed, so bloated, so nutrient deficient, and like everything else that comes with that, the sleep and everything, is just like they just don't know. And all of a sudden you remove those foods, like, I mean, give it 5 days and just do like animal based for 5 days.
Hmm.
What are you going back to? You want to go
Dude,
back to that low energy, that bloating? And it's just like, it's
right.
a frigging game changer, man.
It really is, man. It was absolutely wild when I started doing it, and I was like, I don't think I'll ever eat another way. Like this just makes the
Yeah.
most sense. It's like my blood work has come back. It's a lot better. Like my testosterone has kind of come back up a little bit. Here and there it'll still be a little lower than I'd like it to be, but it is what it is. I still work out really hard, so it's like I know
Yeah.
that's going to also hurt that will actually bring it down a little bit, but it obviously comes back up. And
Yeah.
so when you
Mhm.
take your rest days, and yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Like when you change your baseline, it's like it just changes everything for you.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps to spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.